Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. You are tuned into the MOEToday Manifestation Series, Part 3. And tonight we're going to be talking about learning to trust your gut in business. So with that, we're going to give some time for everybody to come to the room. And this series is based upon the book, The Master Key System, written by Charles F. Hanaal. And it's an amazing, amazing, amazing book. You all have to make sure that you check it out. So let's chill for a couple of minutes. Wa alaikum salam, Cynthia M. Welcome, welcome. And we're going to, there's Brother Lamont. Wa alaikum salam. All right, come on in. We are talking tonight. Tonight, inshallah, is going to be a good one because we're going to be talking about learning to trust your gut and just understanding the mechanisms of that, especially when it comes to business. And you're going to learn that it's something that you already know how to do. And by the grace of Allah, it will be strengthened when you finish with today's class. So welcome. Come on in. We got a lot of information to cover. So we're only going to wait for people maybe 2-3 minutes, you all. So welcome. Thank you all for being here. I'm not one to wait for the big crowd. I say, let's get going. They can always listen to the replay. We've been doing really well on our replays. On the show, I think quite a few people have been replaying, but me, I'm the kind of person, I like to get it live because I like to get anxious like that. Put in the chat if you got what you got out of last week's class and just how you're feeling about the series altogether. I love to get you all's feedback. It's very exciting. So let me know. Let me know what you think. Can't spell today. Here we go. Peace and blessings. Welcome. Thank you. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. We got past episodes of the Mind of an Entrepreneur show here. We got past episodes of Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talks. I got some press conferences coming up, and we're going to be going live doing those. So I'm trying to get better at recording things and putting them together. Very uplifting, and love the homework. Oh, yes. The homework, the meditation is absolutely worth everything because learning how to just put that motivation. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Yavanka. Welcome. All right, so we got about another minute. Let everybody come on into the room, and we're going to get started. Drop a note in the chat about how you feel you've been doing through the series. And listen, this is one of those things that you got to take it week by week, play by play, strategy by strategy, and just keep walking this thing down. And before you know it, you'll be a different person. The sister said your manifestation has already started. All right. I cannot wait to hear about it. We may take a break after a couple of episodes and just have a whole testimonial show where you all come on and we chime you in and let you tell us how this is changing your life, because it's designed to be life-changing. That's the whole idea. More aware of your thoughts. Yes. So important to be aware of your thoughts. So important. All right. So listen, I'm going to get started. I got a little audio to play for you all to get you guys motivated here. And we're going to get going.
You belong to yourself. Your name is extended to people. So the challenge is an education that enlivens us to do business. Business is the activity of life itself. Every creature is born with the inherent ability to attract out of this material earth what it needs to perpetuate its species.
Come on, brother Minister. That's right. I just had to play that little clip. That's really motivating to me. Um, So I'm going to start and we'll let everybody else catch up. So welcome, welcome. I see y'all coming into the room. Appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Don't chip and dip me. All right. All right. So here we go, you guys. Welcome. Let me give y'all the formal welcome. Welcome to the MOEToday, or the Mind of an Entrepreneur Today series on manifestation. Okay. And it's based upon the book written by Charles F. Hanaal. And the book is called The Master Key System. And this series is an extension of my brand, The Mind of an Entrepreneur Today, or MOEToday for short. And I developed this series back in 2011 and made it a part of my weekly radio broadcast. It became the foundation for the second half of the Mind of an Entrepreneur book. And so instead of publishing it as a book, I decided to recreate the series. So the Mind of an Entrepreneur brand of products and services explores mental strategies and offers free game, as you all know, on how to navigate the world of business. And I offer a unique approach to business that combines traditional disciplines with consciousness. I'm an international businesswoman, an industry disruptor, global thought leader, philanthropist, business and real estate developer, and an urban historic preservationist. And I'm striving to become a God and a powerful manifester. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here this evening. And I'm excited to take this journey right along with you. Peace and blessings, everyone. My goal, always want to start with my goal, and that is to help marginalized people around the world gain access to tools and strategies that will help us to become stronger, healthier, happier, wealthier, and to experience more love. I'm working to build a model using mental strategies that will help make doing for self infectious. I'm about encouraging the creation of millionaire and billionaire conscious entrepreneurs who profit with a purpose, solve problems, and introduce much needed goods and services into their communities. Type into the chat, profit with a purpose. Profit with a purpose. That's what we're talking about. Look, learning to conduct business based upon the laws of the universe, the characteristics of God Himself, and not Machiavellianism or whatever they call it. Y'all know Machiavelli, these business books that are all written based upon the Machiavelli mindset, is so important to our sustainability. That is not sustainable, the whole Machiavelli mindset. It's important that we are civilized business people. See, let me break this down. So much of corporate capitalism is rooted in what I call Machiavellianism, um, which teaches people how to behave in manipulative, heartless ways, focusing only on money as if it is a god. Corporate capitalism encourages the creation of business and grants it the same rights as a human while not holding the corporations to any moral restrictions. That is what incorporate really means in essence. This allows institutional bias, marginalization, and racism to reign. And those isms are baked into the functionality of the system. This is why sometimes, even with policy changes, the biases still exist. Now, there are some companies that are focusing on not being dinosaurs and have set out to make policy changes and expand their stakeholders. There's some businesses that are really conscious, and some of them are in the Fortune 500. It just takes courage to make changes. Many stakeholders and board members are afraid that any change threatens their individual power and the overall mindset of the business itself. But in many cases, the idea that the corporation or organization must survive at all costs and nothing else matters other than money is what has corrupted our society. So here's an example. Instead of serving real food, you have companies that are basically selling you plastic disguised as your favorite foods because the plastic is cheaper than real food. This is Machiavellianism way of doing business, which allows the humans in the business who run the corporations to hide behind inhumane policies and procedures in the name of it's just business. It ain't personal. It's just business. What does that really mean? It's basically the creation of institutional psychopaths. Put institutional psychopaths in the chat because that's really what we're creating. Institutions that practice psychopathic behavior. When I go into companies or organizations as a business consultant and I do organizational reads or assessments, it's important for me to read the organization as a whole. I look at it as one complete body and I look at how it functions. And this helps me to know how to create the impact that they've hired me to create. And I look at the organization as a body, as a whole, and I assess the actual personality of the organization. And this helps me to understand their strengths and weaknesses. This is especially important because if we aren't careful, we will set up the exact same psychosis in our business organizations as if we use the same business models that we will do when we come over from these other businesses. And let me say this another way. If we come into our Black businesses, our separate territories, and we use the exact same business models, strategies, structures, policies, and procedures as what's over there, and we just say it doesn't matter, it's just that now it's Black, then all we're doing is creating the same psychopathic institutions that we're trying to get away from. So I like to start the class off with a quote or a statement. And today's quote is from Rumi, the Sufi poet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here's the quote. You can put this in the chat. There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. I'm going to say it again. Rumi said this. There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. One more time. There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. All right, so we're going to talk about learning to trust your gut. How many of you have ever found yourself in a situation and your gut spoke to you, but you just didn't listen? Tell me in the chat if that's ever happened to you. I mean, you had a feeling that shit was going to happen and you knew it, but you didn't do what you needed to do. Doesn't that make you sick to the stomach, literally? Did you regret not trusting your gut? Did you move forward from that point on, learning to trust your gut? Your gut reaction or your gut instinct is slang for solar plexus. So your gut reaction or your gut instinct is really slang for solar plexus. The solar plexus has been likened to the sun of the body. Put that in the chat. The solar plexus is like the sun of the body. The solar plexus is like the sun of the body. Now, we're going to do a little quick exercise before we get started. I want you to sit back. Let me get a little sip of water. And take a moment to focus on your solar plexus. It's the area between your rib cage and your navel. And just breathe. Just breathe into that area. Take 10 nice breaths. I'll do it with you. That's enough to change your reality there for a minute, right? So as we're going through today's exercise, I want you to pay very close attention to the feeling that you feel in that area of your body. That's your gut. That's where that gut feeling comes from. In most cases, even though we suffered a misstep where there was a situation and we didn't trust our gut, many of us continue to place more trust in our ego than our gut. We place more trust in what others think and say than what our instinct or gut is telling us to do. We do what makes us feel special and not what our gut tells us is right. We use deceptive intelligence to support our ego because we are an ego dependent world. We live in a world that makes us this way. We're very ego dependent. What we want to do during the course of this series is to let go of our dependency on our ego. Put that in the chat. Let go of our dependency of the ego. See, the ego just wants to feel special. The ego just wants to feel special. It doesn't care if it's especially good or especially bad, just as long as it feels special and gets attention. It could even be something bad that brings your attention. That attention, good or bad, still makes the ego happy. The ego doesn't care about your well-being. It doesn't care. It cares about its well-being. Look, say this to yourself, or put this in the chat. Your ego does not care about your well-being. It cares about its own well-being. Your ego does not care about your well-being. It cares about its own well-being. It only wants to be special, and it doesn't care if it feels specially good or especially bad. And I've talked about this on my show before. You can listen to past episodes of the Mind of an Entrepreneur show on this, where I explore why we even have an ego in the first place. I talk about that on one of the shows. Look, this ego is something else. It could even be the reason that we stay in bad situations. Did you know that? You could be tolerating something right now just because of your ego. And we'll say that we love ourselves. We can invest in ourselves, but then turn around and allow ourselves to be unhappy just because we want to feel special. This is ego-based behavior. Some will make up lies, make up stories, and do whatever they have to do just to feel special. The ego is so masterful that it can even urge you to create a fake identity. And then once that fake identity is created, you will spare no expense trying to defend it or live up to it. Man, that daggone ego is tricky. That's why Dr. Wayne Dyer says that the ego stands for EGO, edging God out. How does it edge God out? Well, because it overpowers our gut or our solar plexus or the God within. Not to mention, we live in a society that preys on our egos, a society that introduces behaviors that serve our ego. We serve an ego that creates an imaginary life that we want to live up to, one that if we don't match up, we find ourselves marginalized. So we tolerate situations and stay in places and positions, even if those places and positions fail to serve our higher selves. Some of us go to raggedy jobs, stay in raggedy relationships, and practice raggedy behaviors just to support our ego. How many of y'all knew that? We are simply terrified that we will be marginalized, afraid of what someone is going to say, afraid of what it's going to look like. We have little faith in aligning ourselves with a greater power and more faith in aligning ourselves with a fake identity. See, that fear of marginalization causes us to submit to a grafting process that ultimately destroys us, or at the very least, stunts our growth. See, a graft is like an implant. Y'all know what an implant is? An implant is where something foreign is placed inside of you or affixed to you, like that mindset or behavior that is foreign to your solar plexus and not connected to Allah, that gets implanted inside of us. When we submit to this type of mindset or participate in certain behaviors, we are submitting to a grafting process that is driven by servicing our ego. The ego is used as a tool to help make evil fair seeming. Did y'all know that? Y'all getting busy in the chat. I love this. The ego is used as a tool to make evil fair seeming. Fake identities, inordinate views of ourselves, going along to get along, keeping up with the Joneses, as they would say back in the day, are all examples of behaviors and mindsets that set us up for the implant surgery or the grafting process. The surgical implanting of a mindset that is foreign to our Creator, that adversely affects our solar plexus and silences our gut and murders our internal God. That silent, sluggish gut leads to a plethora of mental issues, spiritual issues, and dis-ease. Y'all all right? Let's get into these study questions. Let me know if y'all all right. Say something in the chat if you with me. All right, here we go. We're going to go through the study questions. They start with number 31. We've covered numbers 1 through 30 in previous weeks. The first question that the author asks us in response to our reading or listening to part 3 of the Master Key System is, what is thought? Let's get into this. Thought, he says, is spiritual energy. Put that in the chat. Thought is spiritual energy. He asked the question, what is thought? And you're going to put in the chat, thought is spiritual energy. Let me tell you what I think about this, because I've kept this in my heart and mind ever since I read this book in the early 2000s. Thought is spiritual energy. And I remember thinking that to say the phrase spiritual energy felt wrong or maybe redundant. To say something or someone is spiritual means that you are talking about how they relate to things that they consider sacred. To give something spirit means to convey something rapidly and secretly. Now, energy is defined as the strength and vitality required for a sustained physical or mental activity. To use the description spiritual energy is to deduct that there is a form of energy that is not spiritual. And if the first energy, listen, y'all listen to this part, listen real closely. If the first energy came from Allah, creating himself out of triple darkness, how can energy be anything other than sacred or spiritual? Y'all with me? How can energy be anything other than sacred or spiritual? So I challenge the author here. See, according to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when you create something, you start from nothing. So again, if the creator himself created energy, then how can any energy be anything other than sacred or spiritual? So I don't know if I like the phrase spiritual energy, but that's all right. To me, that makes energy a natural and necessary resource. Now, I think what we should be saying here is that the thought is what gives the energy its direction and intent. Ooh. So if the energy is the constant, the energy comes from the creator, then how do you direct it? It's through your thoughts. Thought is spiritual energy because the thought is what defines the frequency and intention or direction of the energy. Y'all with me? So now, if we go back to the statement that we've been dissecting for the last 2 weeks from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that says, thought is the power that changes your physical reality. Put that in the chat. Thought is the power that changes your physical reality. One more time. Thought is the power that changes your physical reality. What gives thought its power? It is the Spirit of Allah himself that gives thought the power to alter the physical. So if we think of this in mechanical terms, power is the engine, thought is the direction, and energy is the natural resource, the binding force of life. All right. Number 32. How is it carried? That's what the author says. Number 32, he says, how is it carried? He asked the question, how is it carried? And then the answer is by the law of vibration. All right. So Keep in mind that previously he said, what is thought? And the answer is thought is spiritual energy. Then he comes back in the next question and says, okay, well, how is that thought carried? And the answer is by the law of vibration. Now, let's talk about the law of vibration. The second universal law, the law of vibration, says that everything, every atom, every object, and every living thing is in constant motion, vibrating at a specific frequency. Okay? So many of us in the Nation of Islam were introduced to the concept of movement in the universe by the actual facts contained in the supreme wisdom given to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad by Master Farooq Muhammad. Most of us thought before learning that the planets, the earth, everything just kind of sit out there in the atmosphere, in the universe. But he talks about how the earth travels at the rate of 1,037 and a third miles per hour. And that light travels at the rate of 186,000 miles per second. And that sound travels at the rate of 1,120 feet per second. Movement. That's what we're talking about here. Movement. And movement is important. Remember, we're modeling our business setup after these laws, these universal laws in the mind of God. So movement is important in your business. This is why when I coach you on your business, I look to determine what type of movement or momentum you have in your business. Because without movement, you have no business. Put that in the chat. Without movement, you have no business. You have to have a goal that you are moving towards. You have to have goals that you are moving towards. You have to have strategies that are creating momentum so that you're moving closer and closer to your goals. So the question is, what strategies do you need to put in place in order to move towards those goals? Now, that movement can be mental or it can be physical. Mental momentum will ultimately produce physical momentum. Put that in the chat. Mental momentum will ultimately produce physical momentum. Movement in your mind, mental momentum, will ultimately produce physical momentum. Okay. Going back to the law of vibration. The law of vibration is the foundation of how the law of attraction works. And to understand the law of vibration, we have to understand that everything in this world is made of energy. The trees, this table, the air you breathe, your car, your smartphone, animals, squirrels, cats, dogs, even your body is all made of energy. And your business must have energy. Y'all see how we relate these concepts to business? Because we're not talking about Machiavellianism where we learn business so that we can trick people and make slaves out of people. We're talking about business being the activity of life, which means that if it's the activity of life, it must be based on the principles of life itself. Your business must have energy. Just like you must have energy in order to live, your business must have energy in order to live. This is mental strategies and spirituality for entrepreneurs, right? Everything has energy. We talked earlier that we should think of energy as a natural resource, but not only that, it is a necessary resource in order for you and I to stay here. Without energy in our physical body, what are we? We are physically dead. Without mental energy, we are mentally dead. And when we are mentally dead, we have no physical momentum. Y'all get that? Without energy in your business, you have no business. Quantum physics states that everything in your universe is energy. When you put your body under a big giant microscope, you will see that your body is made of cells. And when you further zoom in, you will see that the cells are made of tissues and molecules and atoms. And when you further zoom in, you will notice that what created atoms and molecules are nothing but energy vibrating at a certain frequency. Just like your heart. Boom, 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 boom. And yes, everything in this universe is made of energy. The same pulsation that your body mimics is the same pulsation that's in the universe. That should be the same pulsation in your business. Your business should have these components as well. The cells of your business can be your department based on, or your team, or even your products. But you have to compartmentalize your business so that those departments and those pieces of your business are moving together like a song. They're in harmony. They're vibrating to the same frequency. You can't have people in one department focused on one thing and people in another department focused on something else and the momentums be off. If you have one department that's functioning like you, a nonprofit, and doesn't care about you having profit, then you have another department that's all about the profits, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have some momentum issues. Okay? So you have to come together with your teams and create synergies by giving everybody the same thoughts, the same goals. They can have different strategies, but if they're marching towards the same goal based on the same timeline, then the individual strategies or the micro goals that will help you get there is part of creating that vibration, that synchronicity in the vibration. Okay? Y'all all right? All right. So energy is constantly vibrating at a certain speed. All right? Nothing really truly rests. How many of y'all knew that? Say something in the chat that if you knew that nothing really truly rests. Everything's always moving. Even when you sleep, you're moving. You're just moving at a slower speed. You can't help it because you're riding on an earth that's moving. And so your body is moving with the vibration of that earth. You just may slow down, but you're still moving. Nothing ever really truly rests. That object either receives increased or decreased access to the energy of the universe. Like I said, even when you sleep, nothing really truly rests. The law of vibration states that in order to materialize something, you must first match the vibration of what you want. All right. In order to materialize something, put this in the chat. In order to materialize something, you must first match the vibration of what you want. So whatever you want has a vibration, and so you have to match that vibration. Whatever you want has an energy, you have to match that energy. That's the reason why I gave you guys the exercise that you should sit down and think about what it is that you want. And the easiest way to do that and to manifest that is to think about how you will feel when you have what you want. If you think about how you feel when you have what you want, you'll understand the emotional vibration. The emotion of that will tell you what the vibration is, and you'll be able to match whatever it is that you do, because then you'll start chasing that emotional feeling. Hope y'all got that. All right. According to the law, the more attuned you are to your own energy, the more you will notice how your vibrations influence your entire experience. And what I just talked to you about is tuning into your own energy. And that's how you begin to manifest what's in your mind. Take yourself there first emotionally, and then become familiar with how you will feel. So as you're going over your goals, as you're going through your micro goals, think about how you're going to feel when you get to that big goal, and make sure whatever other goals you set up, whatever other strategies you set up are leading you towards that feeling. Okay. Theorists say by choosing and directing. Okay, do we got some crazy advertiser in our we're gonna just take them up out of here. Somebody trying to sell something to us. There we go. We got them up out of here. Okay, so let me know in the chat, y'all okay? I think somebody trying to sell some clothes or something, but we don't do that in the middle of our manifestation series. Let me get rid of that one too. All right. Say something to me in the chat if you okay. Y'all all right? All right. Let's see. I'm going to give y'all 5 steps to work with the law of vibration. Okay, good. 5 steps to work with the law of vibration. First step is set your intention. Step 1, put this in the chat. Step 1, set your intention. Step 2, raise your vibration through visualization. So you want to see yourself reaching the goal. You want to pay attention to number 3, which is raise your vibration through emotions. So you want to set your intention. You want to say what you want. That's step 1. Step 2, you want to raise your vibration through visualization. You want to see yourself having what you want. Step 3, you want to feel how you're going to feel, or think about how you're going to feel when you get what you want. Does it make you happy? Is it going to make you feel secure? Is it going to make you feel excited? Is it going to make you feel loved? What is that emotion? And you feel that through your body all the way down. Let your solar plexus feel how you're going to feel when you meet that goal. Then number 4 is trust and believe that you're going to get it. And then number 5 is let go and get ready to receive. Number 5 is important because a lot of times we go through steps 1 through 4. We set the intention, or we have the desire, we visualize it, we figure out how we're going to feel when we get it, we trust and believe in the process, and then we complain. Some of us are just over analyzers. Some people like to just talk and they analyze and they go over their goal and go over stuff over and over and over with other people. And then next thing you know, they have to start all the way over from step 1. All right, so then the 5 steps to work the law of vibration. Set your intention, your desire, whatever it is you want, number 1. Number 2, visualize. You're going to raise your vibration by visualizing. So when you visualize something, you change your vibration, okay? So don't set your intention and don't see it in your mind's eye. Number 3, I want you to raise your vibration using your emotions. What type of emotion are you going to experience when you have met that desired outcome? Number 4, I want you to trust and believe in the process. And number 5, I want you to let go and get ready to receive it. Now, let's go on to the next one. The author asked the question number 33. He says, how is it given vitality? So first he said thoughts are spiritual energy. He talked about it being conveyed through the law of vibration. Now he's saying, how do you give those thoughts vitality? And it's by the law of love. Ooh, I love this part. I love love stuff. The law of love is my favorite. Okay, now let's first take a look at love as a vibration and how it gives something vitality. What is vitality? What is vitality? Well, vitality is the power-giving continuance of life present in all living things. Ooh, I love this. This is my favorite. Vitality is the power-giving continuance, I should say, of life present in all living things. So in business, we have a phrase that says the ongoing concern of the business. What will make the business continue? In this case, vitality is the power that will lead to the continuity of our business. Vitality is present in all living things. Let me say that again. Vitality, put this in the chat, is present in all living things. Vitality is present in all living things. It is what distinguishes the living from the non-living. If we are mentally dead, do we have mental vitality? See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is such a friend to us because he gives us vitality. His word empowers the continuity of our life. We live on because of the vitality of the word of God. What does it mean to have vitality? What does it mean to have vitality? To have vitality is to have the feeling of aliveness. Put that in the chat. To have vitality is to have the feeling of aliveness. So you want something to make you feel alive. This is why this is the law of love. Make you feel alive. To have vitality is to have the feeling of aliveness. Does your business have the feeling of aliveness? When I walk in your business, am I going to feel life and vitality? Or am I going to feel deadness? flatness, no color, no sales. What am I going to feel? Do you have people there whose conduct creates a cancer per se in the business? Because that's what happens. A lot of times people have so much contrasting energy in their business that they have this sort of cancer in the business and it's just dead, flat, lacks vitality. And these types of environmental assessments are a part of what we will do if we come to help you with your businesses. See, these laws aren't new to you and I. Did you know that? Did you know that the law of love and the law of vibration are not new to you and I? How many people have ever felt love that made them feel alive? It could be from a pastor, it could be from the minister, it could be from your wife, your husband, your mother, your father, your sibling, your children. But love that gives you that feeling up inside of you that makes you feel alive. How many people have ever felt that? Yes, yes. I want you to take a moment and just feel that aliveness of love. Just feel the aliveness of love. Feel yourself just feeling so in love and having so much love that you just feel alive. So much love that you feel alive. Y'all know we've been singing and reading and relying on these laws since we were created in the image and likeness of God. It is just that something pricked our ego and told us that we would be considered special if we forgot these laws and adopted a way of life that is foreign to us and people of God. I got a little story for y'all. And I know it's a story y'all heard before. Put in the chat if you know the story of Lazarus. Type Lazarus' name. Let me know if you know the story of Lazarus. I'm talking about the black version of Lazarus that you hear in the songs. Okay. So let me tell y'all about Lazarus. See, as black people, we know Lazarus. We know this. We heard in the song. Y'all know that song, Mary, Don't You Weep? Mary, Don't You Weep. See, in the Bible, there's a story of two sisters called Mary and Martha. They had a brother named Lazarus. We're talking about the law of love here, y'all. Type that in the chat, the law of love and our familiarity with the law of love and how long we've been singing and thinking and praying on the law of love and how long we've been using the law of love in our life to create a vibration that has made us stay alive. So these two sisters, Mary and Martha, they had a brother named Lazarus, and one day while Jesus was away, the poor brother died. He lost his vitality. And they needed the vibration of love so powerful, the kind of love that only Jesus could muster up to save their brother. Mary wept, Martha moaned, because when they saw their brother Lazarus, he had no vitality. His life was ending. He was dying. For all intents and purposes, he was dead. He was dead. Mary wept. See, when you weep, you shed tears. And to shed tears is typically an expression of distress, pain, or sorrow. You can cry happy tears, but in this case, Mary was crying over her brother Lazarus. So she ran to get Jesus so he could help her brother. Imagine the feeling in her heart. Imagine that sunken place that she felt in her heart when she saw that her brother was dying and he was dead. And all she could do was think, let me go get Jesus. I hope he's back from wherever he was, because while he was away, my brother died. Let me see if I can go get Jesus. Imagine how her legs felt as she ran to go get Jesus so he could help her save her brother. When she got to him, she said, "Oh, Master." You see, she needed him to use the law of love and put some vitality back in her brother. We know this story. Then she got a little sassy. She snapped. You know how we do, sisters, especially when it comes to our brothers. She said, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Yes, she did. That's what she told the master. She said, if you would have been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Mary snapped, y'all. But guess what? Jesus, vibrating with all that love, he was so sweet. He said, come on and show me. Show me where you buried him. Show me where you laid him down. And when he got there, there was a crowd, probably because they had heard that Mary went to go get Jesus. Now, some of them sound like they was full of negative thoughts. Some of them sound like a few little haters, because now, like, what is he going to do? So Jesus, he spoke to the crowd. He said, for the benefit of you who don't believe in me this evening, I'm going to call him 3 times. He said, I'm going to call him 3 times. For all y'all hating, all y'all in the crowd that think that love is not powerful and that love ain't the superpower, I'm going to call him 3 times. He said, Lazarus. And he called him again. He said, Lazarus. And he called him again. He said, Lazarus, hear my voice and come forth. And poor brother Lazarus' bones got to rattling. And before you knew it, brother Lazarus got up walking like a natural man. He had his vitality back, his spirit of aliveness back, off of a word. And the love that was so powerful from a vibrational standpoint that it rattled his bones and woke him up from the dead. And then Jesus turned around with that same love. And he said, Mary, don't you weep. Go on home. Don't you and your sister moan. Don't moan because you see Pharaoh's army drowned in the Red Sea. He took that love and took that from the individual that he had just brought back to life. He talked about an entire army being drowned in the Red Sea because of that love that was vibrating in his heart. Say something in the chat if you're feeling this. If I could, I surely would stand right up on the rock. I stand right where Moses stood. Y'all know the song. Tell me in the chat if you're feeling that. That's the power of love. Love is a superpower. 2 people that come together that got the right kind of love, they can make so much happen. They can literally, just by the love and presence that they have with one another, they can heal one another. People will want to be around those 2 people, and the love will be so powerful that they will feel like they can do anything. See, that's talking about the law of love that can bring vitality to the dead. This is nothing new to you and I. We've been believing in this law and relying on this law and using this law since the beginning of time, since we were created in the image and likeness of God. How do you think we made it this far through all that we've gone through? This is in our DNA. This law is ours, and we got to use it. See, what the enemy does is it takes away our unity, makes us not like each other. Because he knows every cell in our body knows this law. Somebody just hit us over the head, gave us amnesia, and deadened our solar plexus. So now we have to re-understand it and use it with intention. We have to understand the true power of the vibration of love. So you can't run for the hills in your business. See, this is mental and spiritual strategies for entrepreneurs. You can't run and give up. You got powers to turn that business around, to multiply that income, to do for self. You don't have to sit up and tolerate something. Work on your vibrations. If you work in a job and you know that you can't really be yourself, work on who you are. Working on the law of vibration, the law of love, and see, don't that thing turn around, and next thing you know, you have an opportunity that's even greater than the one that you've been sitting there trying to hold on to. Business is the activity of life, and you have the right to live. And the last thing I'm going to say on the law of love, I want to give you a definition from 1 Corinthians 13, 4 and 8. And it says, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Y'all all right? All right, here we go. Now, number 34 says, how does it take form? How do the thoughts, the spiritual energy, how does it take form? It takes form by the law of growth. The law of growth is the universal law, which is one of the simplest to comprehend. It simply exists to ensure that something always grows, that creation is constant and determined by the kind and quality of seed which it is planted. Now, how do we take that into our personal lives and into business? We must always grow. You can't be the same person today that you was yesterday. You should always be seeking to add to your mental, physical, and spiritual life something that's going to make you grow. Same thing with your business. Always seeking to add something to your business. If you are in a position in your business where you're constantly on a gerbil, on a hamster wheel, where you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, stop for a minute. Step back and say, what can I add? What process can I add? What person can I add? What can I do to make my business grow? So every day I do something to invest in the growth of my business. I keep building the pipelines. Okay. In the case of universal truth, this seed is determined by the energy projected. Through its immutable, unwavering, and predictable operation, you can become conscious and purposeful in what you project or plant, which will determine what you will receive or harvest in each and every area of your life. It's time for us to grow. It's time for us to multiply. It's our time. There is a God and no one can keep us down. He has never forsaken us. You are smart, you are faithful, and you deserve to grow. Put that in the chat. I deserve to grow. You have to grow right now. You are made in the image and likeness of Almighty God, Allah, and He grows. Shouldn't you grow too? Here's number 35. What is the secret of its creative power? He said thoughts are spiritual energy. Now he's asking, what is the secret of its creative power? It is spiritual activity. Now, when we say something or someone is spiritual, what are we saying? Spiritual is relating to or affecting the human spirit or soul, as opposed to material or physical things. If the business is the activity of life, and life is sacred and spiritual, then so is your business. Y'all didn't hear me. Even if real estate and land and property are sacred, even real estate and land and property are sacred. It's time for us to grow. Check this out. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the property of a Muslim is sacred. This is a law of Islam. This means all Muslims will do their best to protect your property. This is both physical and spiritual property. Here's number 36. He asked, how may we develop the faith, courage, and enthusiasm which will result in accomplishments? Let me say that again. How may we develop the faith, courage, and enthusiasm which will result in accomplishments? And the answer is by a recognition of our spiritual nature. That's heavy, right? The question is, how may we develop the faith, courage, and enthusiasm which will result in accomplishment? The answer is by a recognition of our spiritual nature. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told us during the criterion that we have to go back to nature. Faith, courage, and enthusiasm are grounding emotions. So every day we have to ground ourselves. Ground ourselves in what or to what? To nature. It is our nature to be in submission to God or Allah, because we are made in His image and in His likeness. So we go back to the source through prayer. We ground or connect ourselves in the sun, the earth, and drink in the nutrient-rich energy. We have to go back to nature. The sun is electric, the earth is magnetic, and we are electromagnetic beings. We have all of that in us. Don't ground yourself to alcohol or drugs. Don't ground yourself to gossip or negative self-talk. Don't ground your business to alcohol, drugs, thievery, Machiavellianism. Don't ground your business to gossip or self-talk. Uproot that from your business. Ground yourself and your business to the Him who created the heavens and the earth, and to the Lord of all the worlds. Y'all not listening. I know y'all not listening. Pray over your business. Pray over your customers and your employees. Pray over your vendors. Ground yourself in your nature. Ground your business in right behaviors and spiritual principles that will solve problems through the introduction of much needed goods and services. Here's number 37. He asked the question, what is the secret of power? He said, what is the secret of power? The author asked, what is the secret of power? Put that in the chat. What is the secret of power? The secret of power is service. Y'all didn't hear me. Type this one. The secret of power is service. Did you know that? Did you know that the secret of power is service? Service is the action of helping or doing work for someone. We talk about on the Mind of an Entrepreneur show that we must be of service. We must learn to serve. We must learn to serve. This is one of the basics of our faith in the Nation of Islam, especially for those of you who are not members of the Nation of Islam. A lot of times you hear in the press what we're all about, and you think that you know, but if you really knew, you knew that we are really all about being of service. We are actually taught how to serve. I know y'all don't like the word serve. To serve is to perform duties or services for another person or an organization, or to present something to a person. Now check this out. To serve someone is to really show them respect. Put this in the chat. To serve someone is to really show them respect. But you see, living in this colonized minded world, we tie service to slavery, or service to inferiority. Or in the world of predatory capitalism, nobody wants to serve a predator. So service gets a bad name. But did you know that slavery is not service? Slavery is slavery. Service is rooted in respect and love. Slavery is a predatorial condition that you have no choice but to do. Service is a choice. And service is rooted in respect and love. See, we have to change our mindset when it comes to being of service, and how much of a powerful expression of love that service really is. So if a woman serves her man, and if a man serves his woman, they are showing one another the utmost respect and love. It's not about inferiority or superiority if you really understand. See, we have over 90 years of experience in service to our people because we are taught that we are of the original God Himself. We are honoring God when we serve our people. We make the best business people because we understand the power of service. We are not afraid to be of service. We don't shy away from service. Our success is rooted in service. God Himself came here serving us. He made Himself known to us through service. Service is important to our businesses. And as conscious entrepreneurs, we must understand this concept. See, this is mental and spiritual strategies for entrepreneurs. I keep trying to tell y'all, serve your customers and your employees so that you create an experience that they will want to experience over and over and over again. People will pay for the experience. Write that down. People will pay for the experience. You create that experience through service. Does that mean that you have to be waiting on them hand and foot? In some cases it does, depending on what kind of business you have. In other cases, your spirit of service is embedded in the design of your products, your packaging, how you deliver your services, how you decorate your business, your smile, those late nights that you work, or how you manage your team, the kind words that you say. Real service is godly because God himself made himself known to us through service. So when you need, give. When you want, give. I say this all the time on the show. When you need something, give something. When you want something, give something. Don't pull back just because you need something. Don't live a life of subtraction. Live a life of addition, where you are adding to the life of others. And guess what? That energy of addition will be returned to you. One of your assignments is to be of service to someone every single day. And I mean outside of your family and outside of your businesses. Be of service. That's what we do as conscious entrepreneurs. We put people on. We help people. We serve without a hidden agenda. If I'm talking to someone who has an opportunity that is perfect for my sister or my brother, then I'm going to tell them about it and connect them with the opportunity. If you know me, I'm all about that. If I can help my brother or sister by putting them in front of some customers, putting them in front of a check, then that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm committed to. See, you get what you give. So I'm not going to say, nah, I don't want to tell him or her. I don't want to help him come up. I'm just going to act like I don't even see how I can help them out. I'll ignore them. I'll shadow boycott them. So I don't have to deal with their success and how it impacts my personal identity. I'm going to be a hater. I'm just going to be silent, pretend like I'm down for them. No. Come on, somebody. Y'all experience people like that. They trick you into thinking that they down for you. They trick you into thinking that they got your back, but really at the end of the day, they just faking. They really not of service to you as a friend and a family member. See, I wouldn't do that. I don't do that. I don't function like that. And most of you all know that. That's why I get on here and do this stuff for free, because I'm not a trophy. So I don't believe that Allah has brought me this far for me to sit on the shelf and somebody to go, oh, that's so beautiful. I got to get out here and give, because I'm looking to go to the next level and the next level and the next level. So I wouldn't do that. Why would you withhold or hide good from your brother or sister? Why would you do that? Because you're probably a hater and a coward, drowning in your own ego. And drown is what you're going to do, because you'll never attract good to yourself or your business if that's how you roll. That's not how we conduct ourselves as civilized business people or as conscious entrepreneurs. You see, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us this. He said, don't withhold your good just because another person withholds his good. You do your part. Let me say that again. Don't withhold your good just because another withholds his good. You do your part. See, because you know what we do? We get in a group and we say, man, I really want to help her. I really want to help him. And we look around. Well, ain't nobody else helping. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to sit here and act like I don't hear it. No. See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, don't withhold your good just because another person withholds his good. You do your part. I'm committed to doing my part. Are you committed to doing your part? Tell me in the chat if you're committed to doing your part. Those who know me know that my personal motto is, I'm going to do my part. And my part is not contingent upon what you do. I understand the laws of the universe, and I'm not going to take no chance at falling out of grace with Allah just because that's what you do. That's on you. Me and Allah over here, we tight. He answers me every time I call. And he answers you every time you call. See, I'm like Mary. We all like Mary. I might be weeping and snapping, but he always responds ever so sweetly. Show me where you laid him. What do you need me to do, my sweet baby? So I'm not messing with you. I'm not looking around joining you on no bad behaviors. I'm trying to hear and obey. What are you doing? Number 38 says, the author says, why is this so? And he answers, which we kind of already answered. He said, because we get what we give. Number 39 says, what is the silence? The answer is a physical stillness. And one of our homework assignments has been just about all the time is to practice physical stillness. You have to have a time where you just sit there and practice physical stillness. And we talked about different techniques. You can count your breath. You can just focus on your breath. If you get thoughts in your brain, just let them go. You can listen to sounds in your house or whatever room that you're in. If there's a air condition blowing, you can meditate to nature, to the rain. Listen to rain falling outside. You can meditate to birds. You can meditate to crickets or cicadas or anything like that in nature. But you want to make sure that you practice stillness every day. I practice stillness every day, several times a day. And that's very important just for me to recalibrate myself. So anyway, here's number 40. Of what value is it? And the answer is, it is the first step to self-control and self-mastery. Physical stillness is so valuable that is the first step to self-control and self-mastery. All right, now, so don't forget your homework for tonight. That's outlined at the end of the chapter. Let me get it and read it for you. The assignment is, the author says, for your exercise this week, I will ask you to go one step further. I want you to not only be perfectly still, practice stillness, and inhibit all thought as far as possible, but relax. Let go. Let the muscles take their normal condition. This will remove all pressure from the nerves and eliminate the tension that so frequently produces physical exhaustion. Physical relaxation is a voluntary exercise of the will, and the exercise will be found to be of great value as it enables the blood to circulate freely to and from the brain and body. Tensions lead to mental unrest and abnormal mental activity of the mind. It produces worry, care, fear, and anxiety. Relaxation is therefore an absolute necessity. Let's say that again. Relaxation is therefore an absolute necessity in order to allow the mental faculties to exercise the greatest freedom. Make this exercise as thorough and complete as possible. Mentally determine that you will relax every muscle and nerve until you feel quiet and restful and at peace with yourself and the world. Okay, so one of the things that I do to do this exercise, if I'm laying down or I'm sitting down, okay, and my feet are firmly planted on the ground, to get attention to make every part of the body relax, start at your feet and relax your toes, your feet, relax your arches, your ankles. Sometimes you sit there and you hold tension in these parts of the body. Relax your calves, your shins, your knees, your thighs, your hips. Relax your back, relax your stomach, okay? Relax your chest, your arms, your elbows, your fingers, your neck, your mouth. Some of us are clenching our jaws all the time. Let your face just relax. Relax your eyes and relax your scalp. You'd be surprised at how you're tensing up your scalp, holding your scalp in a certain frozen position, and just relax that. And let that relaxation just continue, the wave of relaxation to continue through you, and then begin that meditation process. Okay. And I'll provide a post again so that we could answer our questions. Give me a little feedback in the chat. Let me know what you thought of tonight's class. We're about 7 minutes over, but I want to see what your thoughts are. Make sure that you go and get your commemorative Elijah pendant. Let me know if y'all like the commemorative Elijah coin pendants. I'm so loving this. I'm starting to wear it every day now. This copper is made from the copper from the messenger's home. So I'm sitting here with a piece of the Lamb of God's house on me, and you can too. So the link is in the bio on all my social media pages, and you just have to click commemorative Elijah coin, and you can go and get that. Let me know what you think of the class. Don't chip and dip me. Go to the Cash App, and this is the Cash App. put a couple dollars in there so we can keep doing this for free. I don't want to charge what my colleagues are charging for this. I know people who run folks through the Master Key system for $300-400 a session. I also do one-on-one coaching, and that links also in the bios on my social media pages. And all you got to do is just click Money Psychology Coaching and sign up for a class. Even if you just do one class every once in a while, it's good to just get tweaking, because what happens is we have blind spots. Sometimes we don't even know because it's a blind spot, right? And so you want to just have somebody to talk to so you can see yourself through and past the blind spots. And please, everybody, make sure you click subscribe to my YouTube channel. And this is where you can come and binge on past episodes of the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talks, the Mind of an Entrepreneur show, series on Black Muslim businesses. And if you want to join the mailing list, oh, look at these beautiful comments. All praise is due to Allah. You are a jewel. Thank you so much. So divine and timely. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. All praise is due to Allah. Yes, I can see it clear on the big screen. Okay. And this class is phenomenal. I'm sorry I missed part 2. Sister Sajdah, you are such a blessing. All praises due to Allah. I love you too. Listen, you can get part 2 here as well. If you want to join the mailing list, just text Do for Self to 855-574-9099. That'll get you reminders. If you want to make a donation to this class and just keep the flow of energy going, I encourage you to not live a life of subtraction. So if you can only just give $1, $2, what I want you to do is start creating the flow. So somebody poured into you. Now you go and you pour into somebody else, or you give it back in the form of money or prayer. But you always want to create flow in your life. Never act like you stole something. It's like you get something and then you go run off in the corner like you stole it and you can't believe you got it and you hiding it from everybody else. No, miracles are supposed to happen in your life. Phenomenal conversations like this are supposed to happen in your life. People are supposed to flow through your life who are good, who mean something to you, who can add value to your life. You should be clicking on YouTube and joining conversations like this. So don't hoard it as if you can't believe this has happened to you. Give, right? When you get, give. All right. So Sister 19, this class was so good. You keep teaching us each week to become better entrepreneurs from the inside out. Yes, all praises due to Allah. As Lisa said, praise be to Allah. I love the practicality of this in all your sessions. There's always something we can and should do, yes, immediately to improve our inner peace. Love this. Sister Allison said, law of reciprocity. Yes, yes, yes. Rob said, this is needed. All right. Praise be to Allah. Thank you all. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you know when I upload stuff. Give, 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 give. Let's pray for one another. Let's love one another. And as always, I wish each and every one of you more goodness than you have ever received or imagined. And so with that, we're going to call it a night and say happy Thursday. Support the renovation and restoration of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This commemorative Elijah coin is going to help us to continue with our renovation efforts. So we have both the pendants and then the graded coins available, and they're both in limited edition. I don't really have that many of these, so you guys need to go ahead and get them before they're out. All right. Peace and blessings. Love you all. And let's see, we're going to get rid of this person who's playing games. All right. Peace and blessings, family. I'm out. Love you all. Thank you. Let's see. All right. There we go. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.